Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be breaking down Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov, and with the co-main event, Luque versus Nick Diaz. There's 15 fights on the card here. I'm pretty sure one of them's been moved. That was Chris Gutierrez versus Javid Basharat, but I'll still break that down anyway since I've already looked into it or not. First up here, we've got Shamil Gaziev versus Dante Mays, sorry. Here Gaziev's coming off a loss. Got picked apart with Rosenstrike's hand speed, and yeah, it was just a faster guy that day, and just showed that there's levels to this game. So Shamil Gaziev, he's pretty good fighter. It's just that was just too much of a step up in competition. I found it. Yeah, he's got very good striking. Obviously, the hand speed's not there from the last fight. Yeah, the guy loves to close the distance, mix up his striking with a lot of clinching and a lot of takedowns and getting submissions on the ground. So, yeah, he's well-rounded for the heavyweight division. It's just that I felt like that was just too much of a step-up competition, but he did really well, Budo, with his pressure. Going against Dante Mays here. Dante Mays is not too bad himself. He's had issues in the past getting taken down, but I feel like he's getting a bit better as well. And he's got some decent, low-key underrated jiu-jitsu himself, but he has been submitted by Garnet in the past. He's another guy, just sits back and look for counters and throwing the uppercuts in the middles and the counter right hand, overhands, and whatnot. Not too great of a striker, throws a lot of leg kicks as well, so that might come into play here. This fight, look, it's definitely a lot closer than what it is, but I feel like Shamil's going to get some brownie points off the clinching and the control against the fence, and he may even get a takedown, so that'd be big in the judges' eyes. But striking wise, he can get caught on the counters or maze, but I think he'll be good. He'll be alright with his defense, so I think he'll be a lot more aware this time when he gets into the pocket. So Shamil's the pick here, Gaziev, but I think if he does lose this against Mays, then obviously he's not top level competition. So yeah, it's a bit of a low confident pick, that one. Next up, we got Muhammad Yahya versus Kauê Fernandes. Muhammad Yahya, another guy likes to stand on the outside, constantly switch the stance, targeting low lead leg, body kicks. Not too great with his hands, but got takedown defense was a bit lacking in the last fight there against Trevor Peek, when Trevor Peek was pushing the pressure and getting the takedowns and just wearing on him with strikes. So there's that issue as well when it comes to fighters throwing a lot of output. He doesn't do well on the defense side there, Muhammad Yahya. So, but on the ground there, he's got some good submissions. So he's got decent BJJ on the ground. And going against someone like Fernandes throws a lot of heavy low kicks, body kicks, high kicks. Throws a lot of straight shots down the pipe. And he's got some decent grappling and jiu-jitsu himself. But the problem is his gas tank is not the best. So if you see a lot of his past fights, he's gassed out towards the end. Even with that Marcus to Casey, yes, it was a split decision loss, but it's because his gas tank was just wearing out. And same with this Luan Sadada fight. His gas tanks wasn't there. He's had a couple of first round knockouts, but again, I'm just not going with him in this fight because I feel like his gas tank's not there. If he does win, it'll be in maybe first 2 rounds knockout, but yeah, I can't pick him when he fades that much later on the fights and gets picked apart. So Muhammad Yahya is a pick here. It's a low confident pick. It's just the durability of Fernandes I'm just not all there for it. It's just if Yahya does grapple a lot, it's definitely going to take it out of Fernandes' gas tank, and he's just completely sloppy. So next up here, we got Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brener. I've always rated Joel Alvarez. He's good, but the problem is his head's just got his chin very high up, and he could definitely get knocked. He has been knocked out of a head kick in the past. He's only had a loss to Armin to Circurian, but yes, he has been countered and stunned by Thiago Moises in the past, even though he did get a win. So I do rate his striking. He throws a lot of straight shots and whatnot, and uses a counter left and throws a lot of leg kicks and comes in with a knee as well, like a lunging knee. so that is always effective to his opponents as well. From what I've seen in his last fight from Casey, good takedown defense. He does get taken down now and then. Did get taken down by Casey last fight, but he holds his own. He's got some good BJJ, and he can always set up submissions on the ground there. He's done well against all his opponents. It's just that he went against Arman Tsarukyan and got stopped with the elbow, but you know, look where Arman is right now. He's a number 1 contender in the lightweight division, so I do rate Joel Alvarez. With Elves Brener, here's a good test. Elves Brener himself, he's another guy that sits back and looking for counters, and he's got some good KOs here with the counter strikes. He's also finished off Garam there in the later rounds, which was crazy. I didn't think he was going to beat Garam. He's another guy that targets low kicks and mix up his counter striking. He's got some decent grappling as well, and he's got some good BJJ on the ground. So this is going to be a lot more closer than what it is. But again, Brenner's gas tank does fade a bit later rounds, so that's also a bit skeptical in this fight. While I feel like Joel Alvarez's gas tank is a lot more better, and in the output, I feel like Joel Alvarez will put more than what Brenner does, but you just got to be careful not getting countered by Brenner on the outside. So yeah, and he's lost to Oral by, but Oral is decent too. But yeah, he's just fading that fight there, Brenner. So I wouldn't say low confidence pick. I do have high hopes on Joel Alvarez as long as he doesn't get counted. But I think that he's really going to put it on him, and Elvis Brenner on this fight. Next up, we've got Sedriques Dumas versus Denis Tiuliulin. Sedriques obviously coming off a loss. It was like an eye poke to a knockout. Yeah, it's a bit of a hard one, that one, when you get eye poked and you get finished after that. And he was holding his face when he got poked, and even the commentators weren't too happy about it. Sorry about this. Obviously, the internet's been playing up here. So yeah, his striking is not he doesn't throw too much output. Throws a lot of straight shots, and with his striking, and pretty simple leg kicks, and it's more very stationary on the stand up. But his ground game is very underrated from what I've seen. He's got some wins over Cody Brundage as well. Cody took him down. He lost a lot of positions against Dumas, and Dumas done well to capitalize on that. So his ground game's underrated. He's got some good grappling, good BJJ as well. So I think he's got some good submissions up his sleeve too. So I wouldn't count him out, Dumas. Yes, he lost a friend by guillotine choke. But yeah, he does not too bad. He's not too bad in the UFC. He's pretty underrated. It's just that I wouldn't look at that last fight as a bad thing. He got eye poke, so yeah, he's not bad with the ground game, and this is more of a winnable fight for him too, because Denis Tiuliulin is not that great. Like, Denis Tiuliulin's been finished by everyone, like Christian Leroy is another guy's upcoming, finished by Gregory, fair enough. Jo Young Park had his way by taking him down and submitting him. He had a win over Jamie Pickett, but I do not rate Jamie Pickett at all. He's a guy that just does not look like he wants to fight, always on the back foot, throwing no output and whatnot. So Jamie Pickett last win about almost 2 years ago, and then got submitted by Al-Kazaab. So I don't really rate Denis' striking as much as he throws his decent output, but his defense is really poor. Defensive wise, Dumas is a lot more better on the stand up. So I think Dumas has got a lot of options here where they can outstrike him with the leg kicks, or even take him down and submit him. So if I was him, I would take him down and submit him. Denis is not very good on the ground as either. So Dumas is a pick here. Next up, we've got Javid Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez. This one's been moved to August 10. But I'll break it down anyway because I've already done research on it. So Javid Basharat's coming off a loss. He's a guy that loves to work different angles on the outside, switch his stance, throwing a lot of low kicks, side kicks, targeting the body and the leg to slow down the movement of his opponents, and looking for counters with his hands. But the problem is, in this last fight, he was absorbing a lot of strikes to the head against Sahibi. Yes, the first 2 rounds are close, but the third round he started slowing down again and started getting picked apart by Sahibi as well. So not a good look. Had a no contest against Victor Henry. But yeah, all wins against these guys here. This is a really tough test. I wouldn't be riding to. I'll also, he's got some good takedowns as well. Then this would come at. He didn't really use that against Zahabi last fight too. So good takedowns and got good grappling and good jiu-jitsu. He's really got to use that in this fight because I feel like Chris Gutierrez, as much as he's a stationary stand-up fighter, he looks for the counters and throws a lot of straight shots and very heavy targeting the lead leg and the body with his kicks. So, but the only issue I got with Chris here is he was taken down a fair bit against Yadong Song here, and he was taken down by Pedro Munoz, and those were very high level guys. But again, Basharat's not up there yet, but I understand that. But I feel like he could get there. It's just got to clean up more of his defense on his striking there. So, look, I can understand where Chris could win this as well with really picking his legs apart of Javid and slowing down the movement, because both guys kind of do that with their game plan. But the takedown defense is not all that great from Chris Gerter, so I feel like if Javid uses the takedowns, he may get this win here with control and brownie points. So low confidence pick, because Javid stays on the stand-up and doesn't use his takedowns. I could see him losing by points as well, but if he uses it, he might win. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, low confidence pick, but I'm going to go with Javid here, using his takedowns. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Chris stops the takedowns. I'll be like, fuck. But yeah, it's gonna be a close fight, that one. Next up, we got Joe Herbert versus Rolando Bedoya. Both guys aren't looking great in the UFC. Joe Herbert's coming off a loss against Ziam. He's 36 years old as well. He's a guy that loves to. He's out fighting over at Leon Edwards' gym as well. He's a guy that loves to throw straight shots, mixing up leg kicks at the end of his combinations. He's got not bad defensively. Yes, he gets as much as he does good with his takedowns. Yes, he does get controlled against offense and whatnot as well. He's got good jiu-jitsu as well on the ground. So he was a big prospect coming into the UFC, but he just didn't have the best luck there. So he got knocked out by Ilya, but he also stunned Ilya too. In that fight, so he got a win over Carl Nelson, draw, and lost to Ziam. So I do rate him. He's a decent fighter. He's just come on the wrong end of some of the decisions. Close fight, Klein. I'll rate him too. So going against someone like Rolando Bedoya's, I don't think he's UFC level at all, to be honest. Like he's defensively not the best at striking, as much as he's good with his straight shots and looking for counters. He gets hit a lot, man. He gets into war. He gets sluggish too on his stand-up. That's how he's had his losses there too. So he's absorbed a lot of strikes as much as he put his output. Throws not a lot of leg kicks, mixed up in the leg kicks, but it's just straight shots. So I don't rate this guy at all. He's got some decent. He does try to get some takedowns in. Like he did try his last fight, mixed up takedowns, but got stuffed by Song, and he's got some good jiu-jitsu on the ground there outside the UFC. So, but I don't think he's UFC level because the IQ, I feel like it's just not there the way he was setting up his takedowns in the last fight. So, Jai Herbert's a pick here, unless Jai Herbert gets knocked out. I hope not. But yeah, Jai Herbert's a pick here. Next up, we've got Azat Maksum versus CJ Vergara. God damn, my internet shit. Yeah, Azat here, Maksum, he was a big prospect coming to the UFC, but Charles Johnson said, hold my beer. He's good at striking, very technical at striking, got some nice combinations there in the pocket. He did well against Tyson Nunn too, so good pressure striker. Does get hit a bit too also. You know, he tried to get these takedowns here against he did get the fight to the ground. Got burnt out with his submissions trying to submit Charles Johnson, but he got out a lot of bad spots there. So Azat Maksum, as much as he's a good striker and very good with his takedowns and submissions on the ground, yeah, I could see him getting there up in the flyweight, but man, he's gonna be he's got a long road. This flyweight division is starting to get real deep as well. So he's very, very well rounded. And going against CJ, I think he should use those takedowns because CJ has been taking down a fair bit in his fights. CJ is another guy that stays on the outside, throwing low kicks, mixing up his striking on top, but also gets hit a fair bit too. Nowhere near compared to Azat though. Azat is more, I feel like, is more composed striker compared to Vergara and throwing more output. And he did get taken down by Al-Selwady and late in the round too, and had a win against Salvador and a KO over Losada, and he lost to Tyro. So low confidence pick. I'm gonna go Azat Magzam. I feel like he will set up the takedowns a lot better, and I feel like he'll get some control over CJ Vergara. That loss to Charles Johnson is not a bad one. Charles Johnson's definitely getting better in the UFC, so I feel like he will get CJ down, he will control him and get some ground and pounding and look for some submissions. And I feel like he'll be throwing more output on the stand-up, so Azat's a pick here. Also, next up here, we got Victoria Dudakova versus Sam Hughes. Both girls I don't really rate either. Victoria, not the best striker. Jabs his way in and use some straight shots. She gets hit a bit fair bit too, but she's very desperate on the takedown. So she's good on the takedowns, but too much. She doesn't really set up too well. It is women's division at the end of the day. If she doesn't really set up well and rushes it, she won't be able to get Sam Hughes down until probably the end of the fight. If Sam Hughes starts slowing down, but I don't think she will because she's got a decent gas tank and durable. Victoria's good on the ground there. And she's got a very good jiu-jitsu as well, so she's always looking to get this fight on the ground. She doesn't like standing up with opponents. It's a bit of a weird situation with her, like with this win streak. She did struggle getting try to get Frey down, but she had a lot of control time over the clinch there and doing damage there. Stella Nunes, a weird one. She got the takedown. She just got it too, but Stella Nunes obviously dislocated her elbow. So yeah, she's still new to the UFC. She has to set up her takedowns a bit better. She's rushing it a lot, and I think that's her not being confident on the striking. So when it comes to striking wise, yes, Sam Hughes is not the best, but I feel, and she gets hit a lot too, but I feel like the striking advantage goes to Sam Hughes on this one. She's lost to Yasmin, just won against Jacqueline Aram and Pereira. So with this one here against Jacqueline, she was getting taken down, but I noticed Jacqueline was slowing down, and then Sam Hughes' durability and her cardio started overtaking, and she started taking Jacqueline down. And got out some bad positions with the jiu-jitsu, so I don't really rate both girls, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Hughes wins because she's got more fights in the UFC. Yes, her records is not that bad, but she's quite smart when it comes to picking up on when her opponent's starting to gas out and whatnot, and start using her takedowns and controlling the clinch and using the strike. She doesn't strike as much. She starts scrapping more and using the clinch more when she starts noticing her opponent slowing down. So it's a bit of a skeptical pick because Victoria's still new to the UFC. She does not look good in the striking. And Sam Hughes, I feel like, as much as she gets hit a lot, she does have the advantage in the striking. So I'm going to be an idiot and go with Sam Hughes. Fuck it. I'll go with Victoria. I'll ride with Victoria with a bit of the hype train here. But yeah, low confidence pick. If I was a betting man, I'll stay away from this. Again, this is not a betting page. So yeah, pick is Victoria Dudakova, but yeah, they're both pretty shit. She's still got to prove herself more in the UFC, Victoria, compared to Sam Hughes. So Victoria's pick here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Hughes gets the edge in striking somehow. Next up, we've got Al-Selwady versus Garam Deserve. Oh my god, the pronunciation is bad. Garam versus Abdul-Kareem. That'll do. So Abdul-Kareem here is coming up a loss. It's a bit of a weird one, that fight there against Luque. He's doing decent with his leg kicks and striking. He's got some good hands as well. Those on looping right hand shots with counters and left hooks. got some decent combinations, but the only problem is he got knocked out in the last round, and Loic does not look like a decent striker himself, so he's just got power in his hands and it loads up. So yeah, Abdul had some decent success in the first 2 rounds. He's got decent grappling as well. He's well rounded and he's got some good wrestling and good bitches out on the ground. It's just he got caught. I feel like the UFC is fucking him up with this one. Like he gets fucked up by Loic, and then they go feed him to the dogs against Garam, because Garam is not lower in competition compared to Loic. That's how I feel. Garam's like, if you see his losses, like he's got a win over Gamrot too, and yeah, he had a split loss against Demir. Demir's pretty decent, yeah, like maybe not be ranked now, and he's lost against Elvis Brener, but he went to war with Brener, so yeah, I don't get with this matchmaking here. I feel like Garam's a bit step ahead in the competition. Like he's very good with his combinations, Garam in the pocket and throwing a lot of low kicks and body kicks. He mixes it up well. He mixes up his high kicks with his hands as well. So like he's very well rounded when it comes to striking. Nice combinations. Throws a lot of front kicks, but takedown there, yeah, it didn't look the best against Elvis Brener. He does get taken down a bit, but he's good at setting up submissions on the ground there too. So, I think he'll be fine with Abdul's wrestling. Yeah, I feel like he's going to be the better striker, but he does get hit a fair bit too. So, but he's got the reach in this fight too. So 7'2", 6'9", yeah. So I think he'll be smart not to get countered by Abdul. He's just gonna have to be really, really onto it with checking the leg kicks and not being in the pocket too much there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Garam here. I think he's got the experience and I think he'll get it done. But yeah, well, it depends on Abdul. What was the last fight? 4 months ago. It depends on Abdul how his chin was recovered, because he got flatlined pretty bad too. So yeah, Garam's a pick with that one. Next up, Alonzo Menefield versus Azamat Murzakanov. This is also an interesting one, because like, if you saw Alonzo's last fight, it's like, what the fuck, He lunged in with a combination, got trapped himself up against the fence, and he got fucked up by Ulberg. He got knocked out. It was just a weird one. But he done well in the last couple of fights here, even though his gas tank doesn't look the best here. He's not a guy that throws a lot. Just sits back throwing a lot of counters. So you have like overhand counters, like overhand left and overhand right counter shots. They actually land, which is crazy. So, but yeah, it doesn't really throw too much. Just uses a jab a little bit. And yeah, you'll see him. His last couple of fights, he doesn't do much, but he's got some decent clinch work and he's got some decent ground game as well. He's got some bad spots there against Jimmy Crute as well. So he's alright. He's not the best. Just he finds a way to win all the time. Even with Jacoby here, it's a decent win against a kickboxer. Going against someone like Asma's going to be the guy. Yes, he's had some cancelled fights, and yes, he hasn't fought for a year. Asma's going to be the guy, working on the outside, using his footwork and a lot, and just more so just be in and out of the pocket. So he'll mix up he's got some decent combinations, mix up his body strikes to the head, but there's a lot of straight shots to the body and to the head. Good counters too. So he had a decent counter. He had some decent counter shots against Jacoby in the last fight. But the only problem here with Azamat is he hasn't been active because he's had some injuries and cancelled bouts. So fair enough. And he is getting a bit older, 35, and Alonzo's 36. So both guys could get knocked out. Azamat could get countered by Alonzo, because Alonzo does have a chin. But then again, Azamat hasn't been knocked out either. So Azamat's a pick here because Alonzo looks like he's kind of lost a step and he just didn't look good in the last fight. And I don't think the fight will hit the ground. I think his hand speed of Azamat was going to be a lot more better than Alonzo. So Azamat's a pick here, low confidence pick because of activity. Next up, we're on the main card here. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. I don't really want to break down this fight. It's always sad to break down Tony Ferguson's fights. Tony Ferguson's gonna 5-fight wins, 5-fight losing streak, or 6? Shouldn't even be counting it. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck, I didn't know it was 7. Sorry, just scratch my... Yeah, 7-fight losing streak. Jesus. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7-fight losing streak. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm breaking down this fight, but I'll break it down anyway. Tony Ferguson, obviously, is beyond washed up. His fight's in welterweight as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's gone up to welterweight again. He just didn't look good. He got submitted by, sorry about the dogs on the background. He got submitted by Bobby Green, by an arm triangle, submitted by Nate Diaz. Got KO'd by Michael Chandler, and yeah, now lost to decision Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett's camp was with Tony Ferguson's camp was with David Goggins, which is fucking just ridiculous. Tony Ferguson's definitely lost a step. He was a good guy. It was a guy that, you know, used to be crazy when it comes to throwing lead elbows, spinning attacks, chopping at the legs, just front kicks, using front kicks. And his striking was okay. It wasn't the best. It was more so doing damage with his elbows, lead elbows and whatnot. And doing nasty damage on the ground there. And he had good jiu-jitsu. Once upon a time, the guy looked like the boogeyman beating Khabib, but he's washed up now, unfortunately. And when even the fight against Nate Diaz, he was chopping Nate's leg, but Nate was fucking around the whole fight and still managed to get a win over Tony. So, even the last Pimblett fight, you could see Pimblett, I don't rate his striking, but he was picking Tony apart there. Tony just looked slow and sluggish. His reaction time was bad too on the stand-up. So Michael Chiesa, yes, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He hasn't fought for 11 months. And he's a guy that stays on the outside looking for counter hooks. Doesn't really throw many straight shots, so there's not much output there on his stand-up. He's got some decent grappling and decent BJJ on the ground. He has been submitted as well. He's another guy that's getting old, and rewatching that Kevin Holland fight, he does look slow as fuck, and he looks sluggish a bit, and he does look like he's lost a step. He just looked like he didn't want to be in that cage there, and his takedowns got all stuffed by Kevin Holland. It's a weird one because I don't know who to pick. They're both pretty bad at this point. I do want Tony Ferguson to win, but I think Michael Chiesa's gonna take that. He should take that advantage where Tony doesn't have the reaction time, and he's just lost a massive step compared to Michael Chiesa. Tony Ferguson was a lot more washed up. So Michael Chiesa's pick here. Oh man, I don't even know why I broke that fucking fight down. All right, next up we've got Mackenzie Dern versus Lupita Godinez. Mackenzie Dern here, she's not the best of strikers, but she's good with her pressure. Throws a lot of leg kicks, uses a lot of clinch, and throws a lot of straight shots. Does get hit a fair bit. She got just smashed by Andrade and Lemos as well. She took a lot of damage as well. So, I think Lupita's going to be the better striker in this fight. On the stand up here, I think her combination is going to be more better in the pocket. Let's just have a look at the reach as well here. So 6'3" reach, 6'1". Fucking hell, Mackenzie's got the reach. And even that last fight against Lupita, like, Werner wasn't the best striker, but she knew how to use her reach, and she was touching up Lupita pretty well there. That's also another thing to count in this fight, but I don't think Mackenzie will be able to use her reach as well. I think she'll get countered a lot by Lupita with the combinations and the striking. Lupita Godinez, that fight could have went either way against Werner, but I think the judges gave her more for control time with Werner. Like, she got her back at the end, last round there, got her to the ground, and also the second round there. Werner was the one attacking the submissions and Lupita was defending him. So yeah, that could also come to play in this fight here where, judges might see Mackenzie getting this fight to the ground and attacking the submissions. They might give that to her, then Lupita defending them. But yeah, striking wise, Lupita's ahead. But it's a weird fight. Like if this fight gets to the ground, I feel like Mackenzie will get control time, and have a way with the ground game and maybe get some brownie points there. But if the fight doesn't hit the ground, then I think Lupita will win. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I know a lot of people go on Mackenzie Dern because they've seen their last fight and go, oh yeah, Werner done well to control it on the ground. Not control on the ground, but control her, get some submission attacks in there, took her back later rounds and touched her up a bit with a straight shot. So I'm gonna go with Lupita on this one. But yeah, if this fight hits the ground, I feel like Dern will find a way to control her and get some submission in there, like try to submit her, whatnot, and get some brownie points. So yeah, low confidence pick, but Lupita's there. I think she'll do better in this one. And avoiding the takedowns and the clinch work in this one. So yeah, her clinch does need a bit more work to Lupita, but I think she's got the striking advantage. Next up, we've got Marlon Vera versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Marlon Vera coming off a massive loss, got completely battered by O'Malley, but when he started being aggressive and started using the IQ a bit, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say IQ a bit. He started being more aggressive towards the end, and he did have a little bit of success, and he dropped O'Malley with a body shot, but the bell went in the 5th round. Other than that, he got completely battered with by O'Malley, controlling the distance, and with his hand speeds and the combinations just completely fucked him up. And that knee that connected, I think it was a knee connected to the Marlon's head, sounded like a baseball bat to his head. It was fucking insane. So Marlon Vera here, he's a decent striker. He's technical, throws his leg kicks, stays on the outside, throws side kicks and front kicks. And decent striking. Like his defense was, I feel like his defense with his hands being a bit underrated. Because if you see that Rob Font fight, like Rob Font threw so many significant strikes, but Marlon Vera did well to have a nice high guard and counter him and drop him in that fight too. So he's a bit underrated when it comes to things like that. Only problem with Marlon Vera, he's got good jiu-jitsu as well, but only problem with Marlon Vera is he gets taken down by every dog and their cat. He got picked apart by Dominic Cruz. He landed that high kick and got the knockout. It was lucky that, I wouldn't say lucky, but if he didn't get the high kick, Dominic would have been in his way to a decision win. Cory picked him apart with his reach and mixed up a lot of the takedowns and constantly switch dancing on him, and O'Malley did the same. So Deiveson, he's not much of a switch dancer. He's a patient striker. I do rate his combinations. He's a very good striker, but this time he's not striking as much, not throwing much output. So as much as Marlon Vera is a slow starter, it could be equal there on the feet, but yeah, Deiveson, the problem is Deiveson's been mixing up his takedowns and grappling in the fight. So he took down Gambray, took down Rob Font, submitted Gambray. That's crazy. So if this fight, he's definitely gonna get Marlon on the ground. And he may even just control him. He probably won't submit it, but he'll definitely control him and throw some ground and pound. He's not gonna be staying on the stand up, so I don't rate Marlon Vera's takedown defense too well. So I'm gonna go with Deiveson here because I've seen Marlon Vera lose to Jose Aldo with takedowns as well. So yeah, Deiveson's the pick here. I think that he's got the 5-round experience of championship as well and whatnot. And unless Vera does something different where he starts off a lot quicker, throwing more output, but nah, I can't go with him, man. I really can't, because most of his wins are against getting out struck and then head kick. Then yes, that was a legit win with Rob Font, but Rob Font didn't get takedowns either. So I think I'm going to go with Deiveson here with the championship experience. Next up here we got Vicente Luque versus Nick Diaz. Oh my god. Vicente Luque, he's coming off a knockout loss, sorry, against Buckley. Buckley was countering him a fair bit. Luque just, yeah, he didn't look good in that fight at all. He's got some decent striking and nice combinations to the body as well. He looks like he's kind of lost a step and took a lot of damage over his last fights too when he got, he got outstruck by Mohammad, taken down, knocked out by Jeff Neal. Yes, he had a win by RDA, but RDA is getting pretty damn old too, man. And then his last big win was Chiesa, and then got knocked out by Buckley. Look, he's good. He's good with his ground game. Good jiu-jitsu as well, but he gets taken down a lot too in this fight though. But he won't get taken down in this one. I don't know with this fight, man, because both guys don't look the best. Like when Nick Diaz, he kind of quit. He did retire. He was looking decent in the first round with his like combinations to the body and the head. I've always rated his striking, and he's always had decent clinch work, throwing knees and elbows, and he's got good jiu-jitsu on the ground too. In the earlier days, he did use takedowns as well on his opponents there too. But the problem is he did have a ruptured disc in his neck as well. For guys that don't know that, I'm not making an excuse. He had a ruptured disc in his neck. So he had a neck injury, and that's why he couldn't really make the weight. He was struggling there with a weight cut because of the injury. Who knows if that kind of played a part with him retiring? I don't know. But when he took a lot of big shots from Robbie, he kind of went, all right, I've had enough. I don't know where the mentality leading up to the fight to Robbie Lawler, he just didn't want to be there, he didn't want to fight. And he was also fighting off a $75,000 debt or some shit. I don't know what the goal was, but he just did not look like he wanted to fight, to be honest. I hope Nick wins. I hope we have a better performance than the last one. He was supposed to come back next year. But I think Vicente's going to get it done here. I think Vicente, much as he didn't look that good in the last fight, he looked like he was more in form than when Nick was in his last fight. So, again, Luque is a pick, but I want Nick to win. Yeah. Alright, main event time. Cory Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Cory's on a nice little streak here. Yes, he lost to Yan, and Dillashaw was a split. I thought he won that against Dillashaw, so he did real well in that fight. So Cory Sandhagen, he's doing with that fight there against Song Yadong. He was mixing up. So he does well with switch stance. So he fights off both stances, uses reach well, not a lot of nice combinations, mixes up his knees in the clinch and elbows, spinning kicks there. Throws a lot of mix up of leg kicks as well with his boxing. So he's very well rounded, and his ground game is very underrated too. So he's using more takedowns. Yes, that fight was boring against Rob Font. He was using a lot of takedowns, but he had a tricep injury, he said afterwards, which is understandable. And then the Marlon Vera, it's not a split. He should have got it unanimous. He completely dominated him. So he's mixing up his takedowns now. He did it against Yadong Song as well. So he's using some takedowns and used some clinch work, and a lot more well-rounded as well in this fight now as what he was. And not keeping it all on the stand-up, so which is smart. It's becoming more of a complete fighter over time. Still young in the game as well, so going against someone like Umar, he's got the experience. Umar there, he did get dropped in the last fight, I've noticed, with the overhand again with Bezkit, but Umar here, he's another guy that's like to stay on the outside, throwing a lot of leg kicks, looking for counters as well, straight shots down the body and the head. So he mixes up his combinations nicely. He's got some nice side kicks there too. And when it comes to competition wise, he doesn't have it there compared to Cory, and he'll be looking for takedowns in this fight, looking up to set up submissions or even try to get some brownie points with elbows or any bit of ground and pound. So it's a 5-round fight. This is also, we're gonna see what his gas tank's like. I've never seen Umar in a 5-round fight, so if anyone knows how good his conditioning is in a 5-round fight, drop it in the comments. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Cory Sandhagen here. I think he's good with his jiu-jitsu too on the ground, and I think, yes, he's been submitted by Aljo in the past, but I feel like he's gotten better since that fight. He got some tight spots against Dillashaw as well, so Umar doesn't get, yeah, it's gonna be a close fight, man. But I think like Cory's got the striking advantage. Yeah, just I've seen Umar get touched up a bit and it just doesn't look good as much as he's good offensively. Look, if Umar gets his in the bag, kudos to him, he's legit. But I feel like this is too much of a step up in competition for Umar at this point. But yeah, prove me wrong though. But yeah, Cory's a pick here. Yeah, this was a long card, so sorry guys for taking a lot of time trying to break down this card here, 15 fights. And but yeah, hope everyone enjoyed this video. And this also has been recorded early July 11 because, like I said, I get surgery, so I'm gonna be out for a bit. So yeah, if any changes, I'll put the community post. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed this video. Hit the like and subscribe. Apologize for the dogs snoring in the background. Try to do my best with the filters and whatnot on this microphone to cut a lot of background noise out. But anyways, guys, we'll be back next month. Yeah, we'll be back next month or the end of July, breaking down August 10th card. So there's no headliner for that in the Apex again. So yeah, we'll be back with that one. Alright guys, hit the like, subscribe, put down the comments, and appreciate all for the subs and the likes for this channel as well. Thank you guys, and take it easy.